Hello, book lovers. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in to another review. And what if a single murder inside a brutal wartime prison held the key to understanding the power of poetry, language, and resistance? That's a premise of The Investigation by J.M. Lee, a gripping historical novel based on real events. Set in a Japanese prison during World War II, the book tells the story of a young Japanese guard assigned to solve a shocking murder, and in the process, he discovers the tragic final days of one of Korea's most beloved poets, Yoon Dong-ju. So let's get into this haunting literary thriller. So J.M. Lee is one of South Korea's most celebrated historical fiction writers. His books have sold millions of copies, and some of his best known works, like Deep Rooted Tree and Painter of the Wind, have been adapted into hit TV dramas and films. The book we're talking about today, The Investigation, was published in English in 2014 and was widely praised for its blend of history, mystery, and literary depth. It's based on true events and takes place inside Fukuoka Prison in Japan in 1944, during the final years of World War II. The novel follows a young Japanese guard investigating a brutal murder, but it's also about the life and poetry of Yoon Dong-ju, one of Korea's most celebrated poets and a symbol of resistance. So, what is the central mystery? So, at its core, The Investigation is a literary murder mystery. The story begins in 1944 in Fukuoka Prison, Japan. We meet Watanabe Yuichi, a young and inexperienced prison guard. He's assigned to investigate the murder of Sugiyama, a notorious prison guard feared for his brutality toward inmates. Sugiyama is found hanged in a cell, his lips stitched shut. Watanabe is expected to sign off on an easy explanation and sweep it under the carpet, but as he investigates, he realizes that something far more mysterious has happened. Who killed Sugiyama? Why were his lips stitched shut? And what does Yoon Dong-ju, a Korean poet imprisoned for his political beliefs and activism, have to do with it? As Watanabe digs deeper, the case forces him to question everything he thought he knew about justice, freedom, and power. So, one of the most fascinating aspects of The Investigation is how it weaves in the real life story of Yoon Dong-ju. So, born in 1917, Yoon was a gifted poet who studied literature in both Korea and Japan. He wrote 19 poems in a collection called Sky, Wind, Star, and Poem. The Korean title is Hanul Kwa Baram Kwa Byol Kwa Shi. But at the time, he was unable to publish it. In 1943, Yoon was arrested by the Japanese authorities for suspected ties to communism. He was imprisoned in Fukuoka Prison, where he died 2 years later at just 27 years old. In 1948, his poetry was published posthumously, and he became a symbol of Korea's resistance against Japanese colonial rule. In the novel, Yoon is a prisoner suspected of knowing too much about the murdered guard. But his poetry and philosophy profoundly affect both Watanabe and the prison's power structure. So, one of the most powerful ideas in The Investigation is the question, what is freedom? A key line in the novel is this: he was no longer free, but he hadn't ever known how it felt to be free. No Korean was free. Yoon Dong-ju finds freedom through poetry, even though he is physically imprisoned. The novel suggests that language, literature, and names hold immense power, allowing people to transcend their circumstances. One of the novel's most moving moments involves Sugiyama, the murdered guard, who had recently learned to read and had started changing his behavior before his death. The idea that literature can transform a person, whether a prisoner, a guard, or an entire society, is one of the book's most profound messages. So, why is The Investigation a must read? So, it's a gripping historical thriller that blends mystery and literature. It sheds light on an overlooked moment in history, the life and death of Yun Dong-ju, and it explores the power of language, poetry, and freedom in an oppressive system. It's both tragic and thought provoking, leaving a lasting impact. And if you love literary mysteries, historical fiction, or books that explore the intersection of politics and art, this novel is a must read. So, what do you think? Have you read The Investigation or any other books about Yun Dong-ju? Do you believe poetry and literature have the power to create real change? So, please feel free to leave a comment. And if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it to support the channel, subscribe for more deep dives into Korean literature, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.